What's up? I'm back with baby here and I'm ready to talk about this episode because it was some straight up bull. Let's hop into it. The show opens up with the couples going to bed. Like, we did not see that last week, but anyway, they're going to bed again. And we get to see old Virginia going wild and Eric getting in the bed and they kissing and touching, and I think they did it. They didn't tell us they did it, but I think they did it. What y'all thought? Then we see awkward number one and number two, Haley and Jacob, getting ready for bed. We don't need to even talk about them. Didn't shit happen. So we see Clara and old sucks ass Ryan. That man, he noise. But we see them going to bed, and we can see where the differences lie and how she has so much energy and Ryan is like, I'm ready for night, baby. Like, I want to lay down. So that's real cute. They don't really have any big issues that we can see right now. So they good. Then I'm going to talk about Vincent and what's baby girl's name? Y'all know I'm old. Hold on. Brianna, the engineer. Black Girl Magic. So we see Vincent and Brianna, and their chemistry is still really good. They're getting ready for bed. I don't know. I think they might have had done the thing too, but they ain't none of our business. Okay, so we see Paige and we see Chris getting ready for bed, and for somebody who's not attracted to Paige, because he done told us and everybody else that he's not, he's sure being mighty flirtatious, and so they're, helping each other get out their clothes or whatever, and she's helping him get his shirt off because it's stuck. I think it's some tape or something there, and this man say, yeah, because it kept busting open because, my chest is huge, man. Paige was like, I see. Like, huge where, baby? That little bird chest. You don't keep that bird in the cage, boy. Shut up. So they getting ready for bed, and even while she's in the bathroom getting ready, he's on camera talking about how his attraction to her really wasn't up there, but he's open to whatever possibility. So you're open to sleeping with her, but you're not really attracted to her. So we already could foresee the bullshit. Okay, so we see the couples waking up, getting ready to have breakfast together and, continue to get to know each other. So everybody's good. Haley and Jacob wake up and remain awkward because, they're consistent, if nothing. And then we see Virginia and Eric, and they had a good night. They all hugged up. Brianna and Vincent, they have a really cute scene. They're trying to figure out who's going to cook breakfast for who and all that. And then Vincent asks her for her number, I thought it was real cute. So, and then we see Clara and Ryan with his, he's so fine. Clara and Ryan, they're talking or whatever. And we find out, and apparently Ryan found out that Clara is a sleepwalker and a sleep talker. So you can tell that that's a little bit of an issue for him, but we gonna see how that goes. And so then they're eating and they're talking about, they're getting ready to meet each other's parents for brunch rather. And Clara mentions that she went to Bible college for a few years and then she left and she never went back to church. And Ryan was a little worried about that because I guess his family is very religious. So he was just kind of like, yeah, that's going to be tough. I don't know what to tell you, but that's going to be a little tough. So that already, shows that there might be a little friction there when it comes to that part of their relationship, but we still have that to see. So then we see Paige and Chris. But we don't just see Paige and Chris. We see Paige. And she alone. And my first thought was, now, Paige, what you doing alone, baby? So apparently, Chris had gone downstairs to get breakfast about a few hours ago, and he never came back. And this was after they had had sex 2 times, last night and that morning. So he got up and he dippity dip. And so she was like, well, wait, did he get abducted by aliens? Did he get mauled by a bear? Like, where he at? So she's calling him. He didn't answer. All that. So where Chris at? What the fuck Chris listen, I was mad for her at this point. So we finna see what Chris' sorry excuse is. Oh yeah, before I forget, Eric told Virginia that he had been married before. And so they gave us all this tense music and the likes of stress so that we can think that this is going to be a problem. But I really don't see how it's going to be a problem because he was married technically. But from what he said, there wasn't a wedding, there was nothing. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem. But Virginia is kind of acting like, I don't know about that. But girl, what you going to do? You going to lead this pilot?
You gonna lead this pilot? Yeah, okay.
So Chris walks in and I'm sitting there waiting on him like,
so where your ass been?
and he walks in, just walking around all calmly. He sees Paige. He's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, what? Okay, we playing it like that. She says, well, I'm a little confused. That's how I'm doing. He says, what you confused about? Y'all know how Negroes like to act. So he said, what you confused about? She's like, well, you were just gone. I was calling you, blah, blah, blah. And so just like niggas like to do, this man gets the waterworks going for him. So she goes over there, tries to be like, hey, what's going on? I just need you to meet me halfway. I'm willing to work on whatever is going on, but you got to tell me. So he says, well, I think on paper, everything about us matches up perfectly, but I'm just not physically really attracted to you yet. Okay. And now that's not a big deal, right? Because they just met each other. That's not a big deal. It wouldn't have been a big deal had they not had sex twice already. And he knew how he felt before they had sex. So all these boohoo tears and having panic attack. That's what he said. I forgot to tell y'all. This man said he had a panic attack when he was going down to get the breakfast. I don't know. He couldn't figure out if he wanted toast or waffles and, shit get mixed up. So he had a panic attack. And that's why he didn't come back for all them hours. But his panic attack was because he's not attracted to her. Nigga, if you don't get that bull. Okay, so now it's time for brunch with the parents. So first we see Clara and Ryan meeting each other's parents. Clara, she's asking the parents, is there anything that she needs to know about him? Has he ever lived with a woman? Is he neat, messy? Parents say he used to be really messy when he lived at home, but now that he's been a homeowner, he does much better, and that he has not lived with a woman before. They do mention to her that they would like their son to be with a God-fearing woman, someone who will put God first at all times. And Clara's smart, so she shut it up. Because then was not the time to let them know that you struggling in your faith. Just keep it moving. So Ryan's talking to Clara's parents, and they're basically just telling him that communication might be an issue for her because in their family, they always had a thing where they just did not let problems be solved in the open or discussed openly. So she may have some issues with conflict resolution in their relationship. So, I guess that's kind of natural. A lot of people have that same, issue. So that's the only concerns that they had. But they also said that they also don't believe that divorce is an option. And Ryan's sitting there like, well, somebody done told you wrong. So we slide over to Virginia and Eric meeting each other's parents, and everything goes pretty well. Eric lets the parents know that he had previously been married, but it was 3 years ago and it was a clean break. They let him know Virginia liked the party, and that ain't nothing that we all needed to know because we already knew that. So we see Virginia talking to his parents, and pretty much they want to know, their mama want to know, when you gonna have some babies, okay? Or do you want to have kids? Because she's ready for some grandkids. And Virginia's kind of like, well, I was always 50-50 on that, but I could go either way. I do want kids, just not today, though, okay? And she also tells Virginia that being a pilot's wife can be a little difficult because they're gone about 4 days out of the week. Virginia like, cool, I could do my partying while he gone. And then we can come do some old people shit when he get back in town. Haley and Jacob meet each other's parents, and Haley finds out that Jacob's parents is just as awkward as he is. And I'm not even trying to be funny. It seems like they may all be on the spectrum a little bit, a little autistic, or there's some sort of social anxiety and just overall uncomfortableness. So that conversation is really boring and it's really like unfruitful. She don't learn nothing new about him other than he was a good child. That's what they talked about. He was a good boy. He never raised his voice at them. Who cares? So Jacob is meeting Haley's people, and he's telling them about this damn house again. And they flash back because he just told them the same story about this house at the wedding, about the renovations and how he ended up with a sauna in the house. It sounds like it's dope. No lie. I can't wait to see it. Shit, I cannot wait to see this house. But he's telling them again, and they're just kind of looking like, okay, what else? Because we know this already. So they kind of see that he's a little bit socially awkward and, all that. But whatever, that's who she had to marry. And they tell him that he really needs to do is buy Haley some fucking food. Make sure she eat, because she ain't herself when she hungry. Okay, so we reached the part of the show where Paige is meeting Chris's parents for brunch. And Chris doesn't meet her people for brunch, and I think we know why. She probably had told them what happened, and they was like, fuck dude, we not meeting with him. So she's meeting with his family, and they're like, oh, you were so beautiful. The daddy like, yeah, you look good. You beautiful. He creepy, being nice and freaky like he is. So they're like, you were beautiful last night. What did you think of it? Blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, unfortunately, we've already had some hiccups. And they're like, it's only been 24 hours. What could have possibly happened? So she says, well, maybe you guys can help me fill in some blanks, because I don't even know. But me and Chris, we had a good night and we shared a moment, and then this morning he tells me that I'm not his typical type and that the attraction is not there. And the daddy was like, he said that? He told you that? Exactly, because he told you that after he slept with you? Is he crazy? Even the daddy like, is he crazy? So she's like, yeah, so you guys can see how I'm a little confused, because I don't just give myself to people sexually. I thought it was a safe place, so I'm really just thrown off. And the mom, she's like, well, maybe, that was his way of dealing with things, leaving and, kind of clearing his head and all that. And, and she's like, yeah, I can understand that, but we had sex twice. So it wasn't like a one time and then he was just so confused, but we did it twice. So the dad is like, I understand what you're saying 100%. And I got to take your side on this, because she's saying she doesn't give herself to people that easily. And for her to have given herself to him, and he knew what she looked like before they did that, was completely and utterly wrong. And the mom was like, well, did he have some drinks? Mama's gonna come and defend their babies no matter what. But she was dead ass wrong, because it don't matter. It don't even matter. He wasn't out of his mind. Shit, he wasn't out of his mind. He knew what he was doing. So they tell Paige, well, just, try to ride it out, and, maybe things will get better. And I'm just like, what type of advice? But I guess that's what they had to tell her. Like, they weren't gonna be like, fuck him. That's their kid. So we gonna see, because that daddy finna get in that ass. So Chris' daddy lets her know that you my type. You beautiful. You my type for a daughter-in-law. Not just, he not talking about nothing inappropriate. He just saying for a daughter-in-law, she is his type. So we jump over to Brianna and Vincent, and I just smile when they on the TV. Whenever they come on the screen, I am just happy about it. So they meet each other's people, and Brianna is letting them know that she was basically looking for, and pretty much she feels like she's found someone to just love her and support her and be there for her, and she's ready and willing to do the same for him. So they're happy with that answer. They do let her know that Vincent works a lot. A lot. They're like, he will work every day of the week if you let him. So that may be a little bit of an issue because they both have pretty serious jobs, and with his schedule, they're going to have to work something out. So Vincent's talking to her family, and he's letting them know the same thing, that he left his job to be an entrepreneur and that he works a lot. And, you know, they were like, well, how is she going to fit into that? And he's like, you know what, that's just going to be something that we have to discuss and work out amongst ourselves. And I like that answer because I'd rather him be working like this than to not have a job at all. So just straight up, at least he got something going for himself. And I think it's going to work out. I feel like they can communicate enough to make sure that it works out. So good on them. Now we cut over to Chris meeting up with his parents. And they're meeting in some hall of like a hotel or something. So I guess whatever, it'll work. So he walks up and he's like, hey, how y'all doing? You know, he's smiling and cheesing. And they like, we met with Paige. What's going on? And he's like, well, he tell them what he told Paige. On paper, I feel like everything is great, but the physical attraction's not there. So the dad is like, okay. Well, let me stop you there because Paige did tell us something. She said something about twice. You guys consummated this marriage twice. So now if you had known that she was already eliminated on sight, why then would you go ahead and consummate it? Explain that. Go and explain that to me. And I loved every minute of it. As freaky and as creepy as that daddy is, he was like, you gonna have to explain yourself, Chris. Because you ain't finna be just doing this fuck shit on TV and just think we gonna be having your back on it. You gonna have to explain yourself. So Chris says, well, he thought that by consummating it, that maybe some type of attraction and connection might spark because he wasn't feeling it. And then afterwards, there still was no connection. And that's why he told her and behaved the way he did. So the dad is like, okay, I can understand that, which I can understand because what we have to remember that this is a very different situation. This is not just like, okay, we went on a date. I don't like him no more, so I'm going to ghost him. He can't do that. So, but he shouldn't have taken it as far as sleeping with her just to see if he could. That's playing games. You can't play games with people's emotions like that. This girl stood up here and married you. So you can't sit here and test the waters with her, see if sleeping with her make you want her. Nah, you married already, bruh. You already married. So they definitely let him know that was not okay and that they wanted to make sure, you don't hurt her. Like, if you feel like you gotta go, but it's up to you, but don't hurt that girl. It's over. Everybody's back at the hotel. They're talking about how the meetings with the parents went. So Clara and Ryan are talking, and basically, he lets her know that they said she may have a problem with conflict resolution, and he might not always express his emotions very well, so that might be something they need to work on. So they both agree, and we good on them. Haley and Jacob, they come and they're talking about how their day went. Haley just looks like she's just always holding her breath. Like she's just sitting there like, just trying not to scream. That girl do not want him. She do not want to be there. So they're talking and he's telling her about how they said she could cook a mean steak and that's good because he eats 2 pounds of red meat every day. And okay, Jacob, we do not care. But you can tell he's been single for so long and might not have a whole lot of friends that these are the things that he has to talk about. It's not a whole lot to him. He's simple. So I just can't wait to see how things go when Haley actually expresses how she really feels because she's not feeling him. And it's obvious. So we're done with them. And then we see Vincent and Brianna and they're talking about their meetings with each other's families. And Brianna's like, well, your family told me that, when you get mad, I'm going to have to be calming you down or whatever. And he's like, no, that ain't true. I don't get mad like that. You got to really be disrespectful for me to really get mad. It takes a lot. So she's like, okay, but then I'll just have to calm you down, So no big deal there. They're good. So we pan back over to the master manipulator, Chris, and Paige. Chris is sitting there crying.
Bruh.
Crying at the table, and Paige is like, so what's wrong? What you crying for? Like, what's wrong with you? He says, from where I come from, I'm from Chicago, and we just have a culture and a code where we don't talk to our parents about sex, and I've never talked to them about sex as an adult, and I don't like that. I don't like you talking to them about our sex life, and it's just something I'm just not okay with, and blah, blah, blah. And Paige is like, well, I talked to several different male friends of mine, and it was weird to them how you acted as well. Like, they don't know many men who sleep with a woman multiple times and then says he's not attracted to her. So now Chris, he has even more ammunition for this gaslight session that he's doing on Paige. Oh, you talking to your male friends about it? No, I don't do that. I don't like that. I don't like my wife talking to her male friends, and that's disrespectful. And she's just like, you seem to have a lot of problems. So he gets up and walks out because he can't handle that. And they're in the hall and standing there, and he's like, I shouldn't be feeling like this right now, and da-da-da. And she's like, what? Like, you shouldn't be feeling like this? And he's like, I just think my private life should be private. I don't talk about my sex life in front of people and this and that, and I wouldn't do that. And she's like, you did this, you just did what you did to me, but yet you're mad at me? Gaslight. So she's like, you don't think you disrespected me, because he kept saying, I didn't disrespect you. I didn't disrespect you. And she's like, to you, it wasn't disrespectful. To you. To me, it was. And he's just refusing to own his shit. Paige is just, she looked like she getting up to here with it. I know I'm already through the roof done with his ass. But she just walks off. So she'll still off his ass. I know that's why. And another thing. How the hell Chris gonna sit here and tell her that he's so private and don't like to talk about sex with his parents and in public and all this and that, when the man spent the whole wedding talking to her about sex, asking her if she was on contraception, if she was a virgin, okay? Like, all he did the whole wedding was talk about sex with her, and his freaky ass daddy did the same thing. So it don't seem like any of them are too uncomfortable with the conversation of sex. What he is uncomfortable with is her getting to his parents first and telling them the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because he was going to embellish and lie a little bit. But now he couldn't do that. That's why Chris was crying, because he didn't want his parents to look at him the way he really is. And that's a fuck boy. A grade A fuck boy. And his daddy know it too. That's why he was like, you got to explain yourself. Because we fuck boys, but we don't usually do it out in the open like this. Like, I mean, come on now. But yeah, so all this, I'm so upset about you talking to... Get the fuck on. Because that's not the problem at all. Okay, so the couples are talking in their rooms. Everybody's just discussing the day still. I don't know why the fuck we got to keep hearing about their day all day. Like, move the fuck on. So then Paige, she goes to get her hair done. She gets a break from Chris. He's sitting there. He said he done thought, meditated, and reflected. He done relaxed, related, and released. Okay, so he's thinking about things a little differently now. So she comes in and he's smiling at her, and she look cute. I don't know what he tripping. She cute. So they're discussing things, and she's just like, yeah, that caught me off guard, and I pretty much had checked out. But this is a process that we both committed to, so I'm willing to see it through. But from here on out, we just got to work on the way that we communicate and be upfront 100%. And he's like, of course, that's what I want. He's like, I can be charming, charismatic, I'm dope, I'm smooth, I'm this. You know how he like to pump himself up. And he's like, but you haven't gotten to see those things, so I want to show you that. And she wants to show him the real her as well. So what the hell ever. I'm so done with Chris. It ain't nothing he could say to me to get me back on any good side. But I think she just want to go on this trip. But I think if she had known where they were going, then she might not have been with the shits any longer, but who knows. But they're all sitting there, and the couples get their little gift basket from the production or whatever at the door, and it tells them where they're going, have little cute wifey and hubby shirts. I think that's really awesome. But they're going to Vegas, y'all. And I know it's COVID, so I know it's COVID. I do know it's COVID. But Vegas, for their honeymoon, half the couples were talking and they were like, yeah, I've been to Vegas 50 times. I've been to Vegas 100 times. Haley, see, she said she went to Vegas 7 times last year. So I really feel like the couples got cheated on this whole season. Like, they end up with fucked up partners, and now they got a fucked up honeymoon. But whatever, they excited. Virginia the most excited because she ready to go out. And Eric, he's like, fine, honey. I think he's hoping that he can calm her down, and I hope so too. I think he will. But yeah, they're getting ready. They're packing up. Paige and Chris, I guess they all good. They smiling and packing and kind of flirting a little bit. And if Paige has sex with him again, then I don't know what to say. I won't have anything to any sympathy, empathy, any of that for her, because at that point you want to be played. Because sometimes we do play ourselves, and maybe she want to be played. If she keep fucking with him and having sex with him, and then unprotected sex at that, because from the clips it looked like it's really about to be some bull. So I just hope that girl don't get played and get hurt. I just hope she have a good honeymoon trip. At least she get a good free trip out of this, because it don't look like she gonna get a good marriage at all. Everybody else is packing. They're ready to go. Let's go to Vegas. Okay, so we wrap up the show with all the couples meeting for the first time to travel to Vegas. And when they get there, we see Brianna and Vincent in their room, and Vincent gets a phone call from his family saying that his grandmother had a heart attack. So obviously he's upset about that, but Brianna is there for him, and she lets him know if we gotta fly back, we gotta fly back. That's it. So it was really good. He loved the fact that she was really supportive and there for him. So good on you, Brianna. And I pray that everything turned out well for his grandmother. But that's what happened with them. Then we pan over to the other couples getting settled in Vegas, and Virginia ready to party, okay? She just walks in and is ready to party. He's like, hey, you want to check out the room? No, she want to check out the bar, okay? I want to get into this bottle, this mini bar here. And he's like, no, wait a minute. Like, I thought we was going to just chill for a minute, you know? So I know that her drinking is definitely a thing and an issue. And it may continue to be, because she made it clear that she don't plan on not drinking ever. Her words, not mine. So he lets her know, like, hey, okay, this is your first time in Vegas. I've been here. This trip is about you. I want you to have fun. He's hoping that she'll have so much fun that she'll be ready to kind of chill out a little bit. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think this is Virginia. I think this is her thing. She parties, okay? And she parties hard. So Haley and Jacob, they just go to bed, okay? They just go to bed. It ain't really nothing to see there. But they did do a little smooching in that bed that night. So I don't know. Jacob might be getting his cherry pop tonight. Paige and Chris, they wrap up the evening just discussing how today was a lot and that they're starting over. And he asked for a kiss. They kiss, and hopefully they don't have sex again tonight, because what kind of fool you gotta be to be continuously doing that? But that's it with Married at First Sight, episode 4. So that was a whole lot. And it looked like it's going to be a whole lot more next week, because we about to find out some more shit about Chris. And I don't even know what else he could say. I really don't even know what else he could say. But we're going to find out. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It's Ollie J, and I'll see you in the next video.